Hello everyone, day two of Canadian Whisky, Macaloney's week, and this time we have the little green labelled Kildara. See if we can bring this in on this camera over here for a bit more focus. There we go, that works. And then to this one, there we go. Apologies again for the snoring dog in the background. She is just on one today. Here we have a triple distilled pot still whiskey. So first of all, let's break that down. It's Canadian and it's using Canadian barley exclusively. Then we have triple distillation, a wash still, a faint still, and then a spirit still. Much higher ABV in general, you get less as a result at the final production end, but you have an ABV which can probably top out between 84 to 85% alcohol, sometimes higher. And it's a pot still style whiskey. So we are looking at a combination of malted and unmalted barley. I have the website just here in front of me. It doesn't necessarily dictate the percentage of that, which is a little bit of a shame, I must say. But this is a 46% natural colour, non-chill filtered pot still whiskey. Matured in a combination of Kentucky bourbon, Spanish Oloroso, virgin oak, and Pedro Ximenez barrels. These guys at Macaloney's love a varied cask selection. And I can't blame them for that, because when you have a spirit that's this fruity and this sort of welcoming to casks, much like a Glenmorangie or a Jura, why not get it in as many barrels as you can? I imagine the barrel selection is probably a selection of casks rather than finishing from one to another. But let's have a smell and a taste of the Kildara. I will say on the nose, it's not famously Irish in what it does. I suppose you think about Irish pot still whiskey or single pot still whiskey and you tend to think about Redbreast because it's impossible not to, or Green Spot, Yellow Spot, a couple of the Teeling releases too. And I'm not getting any of that kind of buttery bread and butter pudding thing that you get from Redbreast and Teeling. Instead what we are getting is much more of a raisin dominated nose. It really does sit in that almost Macallan 12 sherry profile, but at a higher alcohol percentage. Yeah, it's raisin and plums and kind of like red currants. There's almost even like a pomegranate note to it, almost like pomegranate molasses. Like it's kind of sticky and sweet. And much like the Anne Loy that we did yesterday, there is still a gristy, malty quality to this, which I'm really enjoying. Let's taste it. It's instantly so much richer. The website hasn't given me the barrel breakdown for this one like it did with the Anne Loy. This is so much richer at the start, so much drier at the finish, which is unusual. Maybe this went into cask at a higher ABV due to it coming off the still at higher alcohol percentages. But up front it is all that delicious, crazy PX stuff. It's raisin and sultana and like oh, big snore. You know, kind of caramelized banana-y sweet richness. The nose is still full of that pomegranate-y red currant note. And even on the second sip, it just falls, it sits so heavily in your mouth, it's syrupy and rich. The finish is quite similar to the Anne Loy. You're getting these gristy, earthy, barley qualities, which is something that I would, you know, that's kind of hard for that to pull through with virgin oak, American oak, Oloroso and Pedro Ximenez. That's to still taste New Make Spirit is quite impressive with 4 cask influences. But again, maybe the higher ABV has got something to do with that. It's a very light finish. It's nowhere near as intense as that first sort of syrupy palate hit would give you. But it's nice. This is coming in, it's a little bit more expensive than the Anne Loy. It's about 110 Canadian dollars I'm too lazy to do a currency transfer. So insert whatever British currency that is here. And even though it's got this big syrupy note to it, I do think I actually prefer the Anloy. The Anloy's got more of, I don't know, maybe like a signature feel to it. But overall, not a bad whiskey at all. I think much like the Anloy, I'd probably give that like a 7 out of 10. I'd probably spend money on a classic like Redbreast or like an Irish style single pot triple distillation, but nonetheless must applaud them for doing something like this because not everyone does. But yeah, I'd give that the same score as the Anloy. That's a 7 out of 10 for the Kildara. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for something purple and luxurious and lovely. This is called the St. Mally, and this is a Portuguese recharred red wine, STR Barrique. And it's a single cask as well, so that's quite fun. But I'll see you all tomorrow for that. Enjoy.